What's up, fight fans? And I'm back at it with another one here at Round One Sports Talk. We're gonna be going over Naoya Inoue, Steven Fulton fight, and some unfortunate news that I have to report for you. So, without further ado, let's get right into the video. Well, superstar boxer, Japanese fighter Naoya Inoue, right, which comes to us with a record of 24 fights, 21 big ways by knockout, and he was currently the WBC, the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO 118-pound champion of the world. He recently vacated those belts and moved up in weight to challenge the American fighter Steven Fulton, which comes to us with a record of 21 fights, 8 ways by knockout. He is currently the WBC and WBO 122-pound super welterweight champion of the world. Now, unfortunately, I have some unfortunate news. Naoya Inoue had to pull out of the fight, and the May 7th date on the fight is canceled. But don't be alarmed, because on Steven Fulton's social media platform, I looked it up. Steven Fulton is reporting to the fans because most of them got on his social media and was accusing Naoya Inoue of ducking him. Okay? So Steven Fulton got on and said, no, he's not ducking me. He's really injured. And then, in fact, we already have another date. That's what he's saying. So, between his manager and Inoue's manager, they're already in negotiation, and they have already settled on a new date, and they are going to make an announcement on the new date. Okay? So, the fight isn't off. I really try to look up to see what the injury was. Once I heard the news, I didn't report it quickly because I wanted to find out what injury it was. But apparently, the Monsters camp is keeping it real hush hush, and that's to need to know basis. And so, you know, I just want to reintegrate that this is what happens in a sport, right? And for all the fights that we have lined up in the near future, this is what could happen. That's why I said until the time I see them actually walking down the ramp to enter the ring, I didn't believe the fight was going to happen. Okay? And just like the Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, you see it, it's all over social media, right? And in a sense, I see the kid crying wolf, right? But it could be that Ryan Garcia is serious this time, and he wants to fight Tank Davis. A part of me in that fight, I listen to the storyline sometimes, and I say to myself, is Tank Davis underestimating this Ryan kid? This kid is pretty fast. I have to admit that. And he hits pretty hard. Yes, he does leave his chin in the air. Yes, he was exposed and he was dropped. And yes, his pro inexperience at the higher levels, which Gervonta Davis has way better boxing experience, and he has fought way better opponents than Ryan Garcia, right? But I have seen in rare incidents where that just didn't matter. The will of a man. There is something in sports sometimes you cannot measure, you cannot weigh. It's your heart and your will to win. And sometimes when we look at fighters and we judge our fighters, we can never judge that. We can never judge a man's heart and how far he's willing to go and how much he's willing to endure to win. And only he knows that while he's in the ring. When When people pick Tom Brady 199 in the sixth round, do you think that all those people looked at him and said he's going to be better than Joe Montana and better than any quarterback in history? Name me one person that thought that. It's something you cannot measure. What a person is willing to do. You know, Mayweather was a unique athlete because of his preparation, his ability to embrace the sport. He accepted being a boxer and he knew what came with it. And boy, did he excel in it. You see, that's something no one can see. We don't know. So when I think about fighters, that's the one thing that I can't factor into the equation until fight night. Until I actually see them in the ring and in the eighth round, in the ninth round, in the 10th round, and you can look in that guy's eye. And in those moments, you can see whether he still wants to be in the fight or he no longer wants to be there. His body language is going to be able to tell you that. And then it's one thing in a fight for your corner, right, to recognize, are you still in the fight or are you just going out there being a punching bag? Because now your corner has to make a decision to throw in the towel to save you from yourself. Either the referee is going to do it or your corner is going to do it. Somebody's got to do it because you're too tough for yourself. That's a different thing. You got to do the math. Are you still in the fight? Are you punching sharp? Are you barely missing a punch? You know what I'm saying? If you're not doing any of those things, well, we got to pack it up, right? But when a fighter is still in the fight, you can never take that away from him. I've seen, I can't tell you countless of times of boxing matches that I counted the guy out, and with one good punch, boom, he changed the course of the night. Some of those fights, I got to admit, those were miracle moments. That's not going to happen all the time. You can't rely on a miracle moment. You have to know that, you're setting him up. You've been baiting him all night. He thinks he's kicking your ass, and you've been taking it all. And all of a sudden, you see a shift in his energy, and his jab is not as quick. And his budget, and you can see that he opened his mouth and he's starting to breathe in, and you go and you do that lax move that he's going to hit you again, and you go right over his shot, right? And you take it to him. You were baiting him. You were playing with your food in a sense too. You were, a lot of people call it a lot of different things, and that right there in a fight cannot be measured. Your heart, what you're willing to do, how far you're willing to go. You know what I mean? So that is the one thing I have trouble with, because we never know what we're gonna see. You know what I mean? Until they're in there. You know what I'm saying? And then when you're witnessing it, you're like, oh man, either you were dead wrong or you were dead right. You know what I'm saying? Or somewhere in there. You were there, right? And you're like, man, this guy is over exceeding what I thought of him. So, in that sense, I keep that in the back of my mind. I do expect to see a better version of that fighter the next time I see them. So, unfortunately, the fight is postponed. Keyword postponed, not canceled. Canceled meaning, the fight's just off the table. We'll come back and talk about it in the near future. That's canceled. Postponed is we're getting you another date. You know what I'm saying? So, hopefully they work this out. I wish them both healthy training camps and we can get this fight. As of Caleb Plant, and David Benavidez fight coming March 25th. I'm a fan of uh, the monster David Benavidez. I'm a fan of him. I watched him lose his belt on the scale. I watched him get stripped also of his other belt. I've been watching this kid for a very long time. I know very little about Caleb Plant. To tell you the truth, I only know about his last three fights. Those are the only fights I ever watched, right? The Canelo fight I watched too, and when he knocked out Darrell, I was also watching that one as well, right? I mean, the toughest thing I knew about him, he was in attendance to a Tank Davis fight, and he was front and center, and I saw him in the row. That I didn't know too much about him. When I started to break down both their styles, once again, as a reporter, I try to stay neutral and I'm not biased. Because if I was biased, right, to this, I would be taking David Benavidez in this fight, right? And I'm picking Caleb Plant, the American, in this fight. I support American fighters. I love American fighters, and I'm also an American. But I don't pick fights because I'm an American, right? But I'm going to go with the American in this fighter, and I'm not a fan. I don't follow him, and I know very little. But from what I've studied from Caleb Plant and what I studied from David Benavidez, styles make fights. Okay? Styles make fights. Remember what I'm saying to you. Okay? And I believe that Caleb Plant's style can give him a lot of trouble. Now, look, I know who David Benavidez is. And his footwork and his positioning is coming into question. His ability to cut off the ring. I know he's a volume puncher and he hits hard. I also know he overwhelms his opponents. But Caleb Plant is not going to stand there like that. And he's a more skilled boxer than most of these fighters that the monster fought. I do believe that this is his toughest outing that David Benavidez has ever faced. Okay? And for some strange reason, I don't think that this is Caleb Plant's toughest opponent. I mean, he fought Canelo Alvarez too, and, I just think that Caleb Plant has been in there with some big names. Now, they do have opponents on their resume that they've both fought. And, um, do you favor the ass whooping that the monster gave him versus the brutal knockout that Caleb Plant gave him? You know what I'm saying? So, you can go from there, but I don't know what it is. I just don't know what it is. Maybe I'm an underdog guy. Maybe I like the underdogs. I like an underdog story. Maybe I've been always rooting for an underdog in my life. I've never really been much of a the type of person that would just watch another kid get bullied. You know what I'm saying? I was always the type of dude that stepped in and was like, "Yo, why don't you fight me?" You know what I'm saying? Like, um, I just root for an underdog. You know what I'm saying? And like, the monster already got all the fans and everything like that. But you know what I'm saying? Just because of that, I'm not just gonna go with him because I'm just gonna overlook everything that I know in boxing and just go for the underdog. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I did my homework and I like Caleb Plant in this fight. That's exactly what I'm saying. I think that styles make fights, and I think that he's gonna listen. I don't. I look. Is what I think. You know what I mean? Um, and if you got the monster, David Benavidez in the fight, yo, great man. You know what I'm saying? That they don't call him the monster for no reason. That dude is something else. You know what I mean? and he might make it a short night. He catches Caleb Plant right here. He's not like a one punch knockout artist, but he's more of a volume. But it's kind of like that sledgehammer, right? That keeps repeatedly hitting you. You know, I'd rather get hit one time and get knocked out than 40, 50 times with that one sledgehammer. That shit's gotta hurt, you know what I'm saying? So just knock me the fuck out, you know what I mean? Let's get it over with. But he does possess good power. He does. So we'll see where that fight ends up. Let me know in your comments below who you got in that fight and why, and what you like in the fight. Do you believe that Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia are going to walk down that ramp and make it in the ring? Or do you think that their fight as well is going to be postponed, or one of them's going to pull out for some reason? I also, a lot of criticism has been given to Ryan Garcia for pulling out, right? Okay, and I understand that. And but now, not only do I look at Ryan Garcia for pulling out, I got to look at Gervonta Tank Davis as a liability. Is he going to get arrested anymore? Is he going to do something stupid to jeopardize this fight? Is he going to get domestic? Is he going to do, you know what I'm saying? What was he? Is he going to crash his car, get drunk, leaving another, is he going to flee another scene? What's he going to do next? Is he going to snatch his new girlfriend out of a basketball, an amateur basketball game, and then start trying to threaten to fight people in the hallway again? Or is he going to do it in a Las Vegas elevator? And he ain't going to know that the camera's there. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a camera somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And Tank Davis is going to be on it. I have to think about that. He's becoming a liability. You know what I'm saying? Shakur Stevenson is also going to fight. Is he another liability? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on right now is that the schedule for the year does look very impressive. And although when I saw the schedule, I was a prisoner of the moment. Wow, that is a lot of impressive, great fighters for the year lined up. But I need not to remind you that this is what happens in the sport of boxing sometimes. They announce these fights, and we just don't get them. Case in point, have we gotten the Errol Spence and Crawford fight yet? I'll wait. How long have they been telling us we've been going to get that fight? How long? How long has it been? Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? And how many other fighters must suffer for people holding up the divisions? Ask Jerome Bush Ennis, does he think this is fair? Matter of fact, ask anybody in the 147-pound weight division, the number 1, 2, and 3 contender. Ask them how they feel about it. Oh, wait. Those mans ain't, they're mandatories, and they're not even petitioning to fight these men. They're not even hurrying around along Ortiz. He ain't even pushing for that fight. So, it is what it is. Look, I can't wait to get this fight going. They do have another date. They will make an announcement. I will report it back to you. If I can find out anything about the Monster and Stevie Kubo Fulton fight, I will. As far as other fights coming up, let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments. I want to go live and talk a little bit about boxing with you guys. I was thinking about doing it on the Caleb Plant night a little bit early, just before the co-main event. I'll start streaming live, and we can start talking about some upcoming fights and what you guys think and how you see the fight playing out. Okay, so I'm on to the next. That's all I got for you. Please like, share, subscribe to the videos. Please don't forget to like the videos because it helps the channel grow. And thank you for watching. I'm on to the next. Peace.